That summer felt strange from the very start. Even at night, the air was sticky and heavy, and the power cuts in our neighborhood had become a daily ritual. I was living at my aunt's place back then because I had moved to a new city for work. It was just me, Aunt Claire, and her 10-year-old son, Ryan. A sweet kid, but hopeless at keeping his things together. One afternoon, Ryan came home from school and tossed his torn backpack into the hallway. Aunt Claire sighed. "Not again." I said, "I'll go to the market and see if I can find a cheap one." At the far end of the street, I spotted a small booth selling second-hand bags. The man behind the stall looked off. He was thin, pale, with deep, dark circles under his eyes, like he hadn't slept in days. I casually asked, "How much for a school backpack?" Without even looking at me, he handed over a brown canvas bag. It looked worn out, the color faded, and when I touched it, the fabric felt strangely warm, like it had been sitting under the sun for too long. Before I could ask the price, the man muttered in a low, uneasy tone, "Pay whatever you want." His voice carried a kind of desperation, as if he just wanted to get rid of it. It was cheap, so I bought it. That night, I left the bag on a chair and went to sleep. Around midnight, a sudden thud woke me up. The bag was on the floor. The window was closed. No wind, no movement. Still, I convinced myself I probably hadn't placed it right. The next day, Ryan frowned and said, "Uncle, this bag feels really heavy." The books were the same, but his hands were trembling slightly. I laughed and said, "Don't make excuses," though I could see the uneasiness in his eyes. Within a few days, Ryan started looking pale and withdrawn. He'd come back from school silent, barely eat, barely talk. One night, he came to my room and whispered, "Uncle, the bag calls me." I froze. He continued, "When I'm in class and the bag's on my desk, I hear someone whisper right by my ear saying, 'Give it back.' But there's no one there." His voice cracked as he spoke, and the fear in his eyes felt real. That night, I left the bag out on the porch. Sometime past midnight, I heard a faint creak, like fabric being pulled tight. My heart pounded as I peeked outside. The bag was still there, but its zipper was half open. I was sure I had zipped it all the way. The next morning, Ryan refused to go to school. Crying, he said, "He's going to take me." Aunt Claire looked terrified. I grabbed the bag and rushed to the market, but the stall was gone, just bare ground, and a long drag mark in the dirt, as if something heavy had been pulled away overnight. That evening, I decided to throw the bag away, but when I lifted it, something slipped out of the side pocket, an old, burnt photograph. In it, a little boy stood in a school uniform, holding the exact same brown backpack. His eyes were full of anger. On the back of the photo, in faded ink, were the words, "It was mine." A chill went straight through me. I tried burning the bag, but it wouldn't catch fire. The canvas wouldn't melt, wouldn't smoke, like it refused to burn at all. That's when I realized I had to take it back to where it came from. The next morning, Ryan and I went to the same spot. The empty patch of dirt looked untouched, except for that faint drag line. I placed the bag gently on the ground. There was no wind, yet the fabric quivered slightly, as if something inside was breathing. Ryan gripped my hand tightly. We didn't look back. Over the next few weeks, Ryan slowly returned to normal, but every now and then, in the middle of the night, he sits up and looks toward the front door and asks, "Uncle, the backpack won't come back, right?" I always tell him no, but sometimes, when the house is quiet, I still hear that faint creak sound from the porch, like someone or something is still searching.